And now, an indie artist reveal worldwide spotlight. San Diego native Joe Leavy, a highly esteemed international recording soul artist, loved for his passionate performances from the US to Asia and Japan. Leavy, Soul Track Album of the Year and Male Vocalist Nominee of the Year, is still riding high. From reaching #1 in the UK on 2 of his smash singles. Join the Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide family as we check in with the soul R&B crooner to chat about his latest release, Find a Way to Love. Hey everybody, welcome to another segment of Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide. I am Sabrina Taylor, creator and host of the show. I want to first say, please forgive me for the delay. We had some tech issues and we were able to work through those issues. If you're watching us on the replay, I want you to put in hashtag replay to let me know that you got an opportunity to come in and check out our guest this week. It's amazing. I was just sharing with him back of house how I have a favorite song for everybody, and Inside You, Joe Leavy does an amazing job with this song. You're going to hear a small compilation this time around, no full premiere, because I'm kind of had some issues with our platform, not the platform itself, but the provider of service that I'm running through. And so I just want you guys to be able to get the full brunt of why I love doing what I'm doing, and that is promoting the indie artist. Listen, you guys, do me a favor, grab your handhelds and share. Tag, let everybody know we are beyond tech issues and we are now on the air. And we want you guys to share with others that we are now connecting with our very special guest, Joe Levy. Hey, Joe.
Well, hello, Sabrina.
How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing outstanding. Much better, thank
Good.
you.
I am so
So glad to
glad,
be.
and I'm glad to have you back. I know the last time we had you on was May of 2022.
Goodness, it doesn't seem that long.
It's been that long. It's been that long. So we were pretty much kind of well, we had come out of the pandemic, but I think we were still having some issues. Venues weren't 100% open at that point, and so we were just trying to find ourselves. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're still trying to, rebound from this COVID thing. I think. But
Yeah.
thank God we're here. So many of my team, my personal creative team, are no longer with me, and that is something that I'm having a hard time dealing with. I've lost one of my top producers. As a matter of fact, the songwriter for Inside You
Sure.
is no longer able to work. He's got an incurable situation with his health. My sound engineer that's done all my records over the last 10 years has passed on from cancer, and now my bass player's got cancer. So this is something that is really affecting me personally, to see so many of my friends in my circle with devastating injuries and illnesses post COVID.
Oh my God. Honestly, um, I had no idea that things were so challenging for you. And when I interview people, I like to incorporate and ask, like what are the challenges, or one or two challenges that you could face, because we all have issues, we all have challenges, but I mean, you're coming right out of the gate sharing that a lot of the people that you literally work with are having
Yes,
some devastating issues
yes,
in life. Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
And it's just not normal to have such a small circle be so
right.
affected. This is not normal, but it is the new normal here in the United States, and it's something that I think I'm not unique in dealing with. I think a lot of us are dealing with a lot of the same kind of issues. Um,
Sure.
we're just losing too many. We lost Angie last night, and uh,
Oh my God.
lost
No, I know.
Chris Jasper earlier this week.
Roberta Flack.
Roberta Flack. There's
Oh,
just so many,
so many luminaries. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And then my personal friends. It's just a laundry list of personal friends that are no longer here. And just today we lost another one. So I thank God for my health. Health is definitely wealth. I
yeah.
thank Him for my mind that I'm still able to think clearly and see
Sure.
beauty
Right.
and try to inject some beauty into the atmosphere
Yeah.
through music.
With your music. Yeah. Music, it literally heals the soul. Um, and it speaks in a language, it surpasses the barriers of language. And that's what I love about music, because if you're hurting, if you're depressed, if you're broken, if there's some kind of loss, if there is a physical challenge, no matter what that it factor is, music just seems to penetrate and go beyond that issue to healing the matter at hand. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. That's what music is supposed to do. That's what the
Yeah.
music that I grew up listening to did. That's what inspired me to become what I've become in the writing, in the projection, and the ideals of the music that it all came from the songwriters and singers and performers that I grew up listening to, and the Stevie Wonders, the Marvin Gaye, and the Bill Withers, and so many of the great storytellers. The Nat King Cole, who was my all-time favorite male vocalist ever in life. Oh
Really?
my goodness, I
Oh
can
my
listen to Nat King Cole all day, every day. He's the house that built, Capitol Records. He was that guy, and
yes, he was. Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
the flawless vocal technique and arrangements
Hmm.
so growing up with Stevie and Al Green and the Isley Brothers, and it was just an amazing experience to grow up in that era in the Jackson Five, to listen to real music, talk about real things, you know. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Isaac Hayes and uh, just so many of the soul artists that I love. None greater than Curtis Mayfield. Curtis Mayfield was one of my
Mm,
all-time favorite artists, period, because of his outstanding sense of the times and the music that he wrote. Um, Incredible stuff. And he used all the instruments, which is where I get, bringing in the flutes and the different types of instrumentation. I took that all from that era and tried to inject that into what I do. And so when you hear songs like "Love Me to My Soul" with scratch flute, and "Do It Again" with Althea Renee, and all the different instrumentations that we use, we trying to draw from that era.
do you know, Joe? I went back to our old interview, right?
Mm.
And it was so amazing. There was something to hear you talk about um, the songs and what you pull from. And um, I remember in the other interview, in our first interview, I I heard you say you knew you could sing, but having confidence was something else.
Mm.
And I thought to myself, with a voice like the voice you have, there was no way that I could have even imagined that there was a question about confidence.
Well, the instrument is different today.
Yeah.
Where the kids, these youngsters, they have a different interpretation of the music. When
Right.
I when I came up, it was the emotion in the voice. It's like the gospel.
Mm.
I love
Hmm.
Sandra Crouch, Andre Crouch, the
Oh
small lead
gosh, yeah,
singers.
yeah.
That gospel, that old school gospel that you felt every word of it. I feel I'm so far from you, Lord, but still I hear you calling me.
Oh
The
my God.
memories that I once knew. Oh man, I just used to get chills on the inside. And it wasn't vocal exercising. It wasn't this vocal kung fu where everybody's running all over the place. Not that there's anything wrong with it,
Hmm.
but it was a different way of producing that voice and that sound. Mahalia Jackson and all the Lily Knowles and all the old school, you know, um, you felt that. Um, that's kind of what I take from music. And so when I say lack of confidence, I
Sure.
go to the concerts and I hear these amazing singers like Joe, like Jasmine Sullivan, who I think is amazing. And I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
just like Bruce Lee, and they're everywhere with the vocals. I'm like, ooh, incredible, right? So
Right.
when I do it different, I'm a little bit more old school in my approach to music. I
Hmm.
rely on messaging and emotions that I'm creating from my own soul to carry through the music.
Sure.
So it's a little bit different. So that's
Right.
kind of where the
Right.
I got to stay in
Ah.
my lane.
But listen, everybody is a creative, right?
Yes,
But
yes,
everybody is a different kind of creative.
yes,
Because if we all sound alike, if we all moved the same way,
yes.
I think the world would be a boring place musically, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. My favorite stage performer was Maurice
Mhm.
White.
Ah,
I saw her when I was 18. My mom bought me tickets for my 17th birthday. I was a senior in high school, and it
mm-hmm.
was at San Diego Sports Arena. And Maurice came out, with the fro and the receding hairline, and he put his hands up in the air, and I mean, he just, oh my goodness! I never seen or heard something so good, and the way he sang those songs, you
Yeah,
know, oh, when
yeah.
he said "Be ever wonderful," I was like, oh my goodness! It went all the way through me, you
I know,
know.
right? I
Oh my
know.
goodness, reasons, and I mean, and it just that's the era I come from. So
Sure.
I like to feel that when I used
Right.
to when I go to concerts. Al Green, man,
Mm.
there was nothing
Yes.
better than listening to Al Green. You know,
Oh my God, I
his
know.
band and the way he broke that music down was just so. My mom and her girlfriends loved Al Green, so
But I'm sorry, I think that those who've loved him will always love him.
hmm
And this new generation that's coming up, they're discovering because I'm trying to think, who was it? I was out one day. I was in the beauty supply house, just getting some knickknacks to make myself look presentable on here. And I asked one of the young ladies, there was, oh gosh, I can't remember who it was, um, that I asked if they knew. Now, mind you, these girls are like 20 years old. And when they said, "Oh, no, I've never heard of her." Oh,
hmm
it wasn't a musical person. It's somebody. So you've heard of Farrah Fawcett, right?
Yes, oh,
The
of
White
course.
House. Okay. So I wanted a unit that had the flip appeal, right?
hmm
Farrah was
The Farrah
blonde.
flip,
The
yes.
flip. Everybody, man, woman, doesn't matter if you wore a wig or not.
Oh, the
You knew
Farrah
the
Fawcett
Farrah
flip.
flip, right? That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I went into the beauty supply house and I said, "Do you guys know Farrah Fawcett?" And they looked at each other. They said, "Who is Farrah Fawcett?" I said, "Oh my God, who are these kids? Where'd they come from?" Right? And I said, "Okay, let me get my little phone and let's Google Farrah Fawcett." Oh, I've seen her before. Oh, is that her name? So my point is that You got a generation of kids that are coming up who are oblivious to the greats,
Yes.
whether it's an actor, actress, or music.
Obi,
And
Obi,
I
Obi,
want us to
Obi.
keep it alive. I want us to
Yeah.
keep the music alive.
Mm.
It can't die with us. Do you know what I mean?
That's how I feel. I feel the same way.
Yeah,
You know, you writing, being that I write the songs that I do,
sure.
it makes a difference. When you write the stuff that you do, it's more authentic. It comes from a different place.
Mhm.
And being a songwriter, it's very gratifying to write a piece of music from your own soul and experience, and
Yeah,
then have that be a number one record somewhere. That is the most incredible feeling as an artist, to actually pen something and people say, "Man, I don't know what you was thinking, but brother, that just really went to my heart and soul, and I understood
yeah,
everything." That means a lot. And when you told
totally.
me how you felt about Inside You, it really meant a
Yeah.
lot to me because it meant a lot to me to write that. You know, I know the condition I was in when I wrote that record, and I'm very honest, and that's the thing I think in my music that
Mhm.
carries the most is the honesty of it. Um,
What I want you to do is put a pin in the, don't forget where you were going. I've got to take the first break of the night.
okay.
Inside You, everybody is like my all-time favorite by Joe Levy. I know I have replayed it and I've replayed it and I've replayed it. It's like a broken record. But there is something, the intro itself, it makes you do a double take. If you've not
Mm,
heard Inside You, don't do it while you're here. Wait until the show is over, and go to your favorite digital music platform and type in Joe Levy Inside You. We're going to hear a tad bit of it tonight, but love the song. But in just a little bit, we're going to continue on you talking and expounding um, about what it was that inspired you, if you don't mind,
mm.
inside you.
Now I'd love to
So
tell you the story.
don't forget it. Put a pin right there, Joe, and I'll be back with you
All right.
in just a minute. You guys, you hang around because we've got so much more with Joe Levy. We've got some music as well. So don't go away. We'll be back in just a minute. Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. The expansion continues. You can locate us on 10 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Indie Artist Reveal worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community. Four-time Grammy-nominated Boney James is coming to Jackson, Mississippi. The Sip. Boney James has been featured with iconic artists such as Kenny Lattimore, October London, Layla Hathaway, and more. Now, Boney is headlining Friday, March 14th at the Jackson Convention Center with special guest Billboard charting artist flautist Reagan Whiteside. Doors open at 7 p.m. Showtime is 8 p.m. Visit www.jevents.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide. I, of course, am the creator and host of the show, Sabrina Taylor. My guest tonight is Joe Levy. Who's Joe Levy? Oh, a guy named Joe Levy. I love it. I love it. I love it. Joe, where are you? You're in Cali, right?
I am in Northern California. I am 20 minutes east of Sacramento in the beautiful city of Roseville.
Look at you. Wow. I'm kind of jealous. Um, it's beautiful out there. I've got a lot of friends who are out in the California area, but I've yet to visit. So maybe one day soon I can
Well, we will
come.
have to fix that. We'll have to get you an invitation and bring you here to California to this wonderful conservative enclave that I live in, all my Trump supporting neighbors.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Before we went to break though, you were talking about Inside You, which that's my all-time favorite song by you. What was the inspiration for that song?
All right. I'm going to tell you the story about that song.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I was married for a very long time. I got divorced in 2017. It was not acrimonious. It was really a love thing. My ex-wife had decided that our time was over and she needed to make some of her own decisions and live her life on her own terms. And
Yeah.
I fully supported that because she had been a great partner and a great wife and a great mom, but she really felt like it was all my idea. And so, and that she really hadn't lived her, her to her best life. So, um, we ended up going our separate ways, and it was extremely hard. I thought it would be easy.
I'm
Never
sure.
been divorced, but it just really, man, I was in a real seriously depressed state, I guess, is what it was. And oh man, I had separation anxiety. I couldn't sleep alone. I mean, I had all these issues going on, and
Jeez.
one of my
Mhm.
friends, someone that worked with me in music, who liked me and just kind of gave me her love. I couldn't return it because I didn't have anything to give back. But
The
she just loved.
capacity wasn't there.
I didn't have
Yeah.
anything to return,
Right.
but
Mhm.
she just loved on me anyway.
Oh.
And she would come around, and it was like sprinkling fairy dust on me. My grade would go away for a minute, and I would be. No, I'm serious. I'd be joyful, and we'd go eat, and we'd have fun. But she just loved on me,
Mm.
and you know, sexually, every kind of way you could love on a person.
Whoa.
And it was an amazing experience. It really brought me back. The sad part was is I had nothing to give back other than, you know, that's all I had. And I didn't have anything else, anything emotional because I was too broken. But that love she gave me was so powerful and so healing for me
Mm-hmm.
that I wrote Inside You because that's what the song was about. And it really wasn't about the sexual experience because that was
Sure.
very important, but
Sure.
it was about our connection and including the sexual experience and all what that did for me and how that made me feel that no, because I didn't feel like anybody could ever love me after my wife and I divorced. I felt unlovable. I felt like my blessing had gone. I felt like I fouled up some kind of way. So
I get it.
this kind of restored my belief in myself because
Mm.
the way she would look at me and just the smiling and the things, all of that was just it was a superpower, and that's what love is. It's a superpower.
It literally is. I
And
agree. Yeah.
if you understand the assignment, if you really understand the assignment, there's nothing better in life. There's nothing better than loving somebody and having them love you back. And so that's what Inside You is about. And it starts off, I often wonder if you're magic, because when you come around, I can't control myself. The things you do got me addicted, and I don't want no help. Your ways are really fresh and love me. Can I have a taste of your sweet love? The more you give, the more I want, baby. I just can't get enough. I often see you wearing nothing. You take me to a very special place inside.
Mhm. Wow.
And that's the real 100%
That's
honesty of what it was. Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
You were like bearing your soul, like
Yeah.
emptying yourself out.
Yeah. I had to because I had to come back. And the only way to do that is with truth. You can't lie your way through it. You have to be honest with where
No.
you are. And
Hmm.
what I found in that was that, God was still with me. It was just a new season, and I had to be prepared for my next season.
Correct.
And that's what I've been doing these last 7 years is preparing for my next season.
For your
And
next season.
I haven't found it yet, but when I do, I know I know the assignment.
He's rubbing his two hands together. like somebody mischievous.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
like old Simon Bar Sinister. You know.
Exactly. Oh my. Oh.
Yes.
And there is something else that I pulled out of our prior interview that it had been years when we talked since you'd been to Japan.
Hmm.
And you guys back of the house, I learned something. Share that, Joe.
I love Japan. My ex-wife was Japanese. So two of my children are half Japanese, and that is where I really flourished musically. I not as an artist, but as a performer. I worked in the clubs there for years, and that's how I made my living. And I made a very good living doing what I do and playing in those clubs and being the human jukebox, playing all of my favorite songs over and over again every night for 7, 8, 9, 10 years in a row.
Sure.
But it was a great experience, and now I get a chance to go back and visit, take some music. We did we were there 2 years ago. We did the Let It Go video in Japan, and I had a chance to go there and get with my songwriting partner on that record, Steve Heineman, and we went to Club Azul in Osaka and shot the video. And I just love Japan. I love my Japanese fans, and
Mhm.
that country was very good to me. It's a beautiful country. It's super clean. It's super safe. The food is
Yeah.
amazing. There's no crime. There's no illiteracy. The healthcare is free. It's not free, but the healthcare is universal. There are no profit tiers between you and your healthcare decisions. So the Japanese live the longest on the earth. It's just an
Wow.
incredible place to be.
And
And
you're going back. You're going back.
going back in April. Yeah, I'm going to go over for 2 weeks and enjoy that. I'm going to England next month. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving for England for shows in England next week, next Monday.
Look at Pizza Express. Are you going there?
Yep, I'll be at the Jazz. I'll be at the Lounge Jazz Bar in Essex on the 14th of March, and then I'll be at Peace Express in Holborn on the 15th of March.
Listen, I am going to connect you with my sister Selena Albright.
Okay.
I am sure she would love to either support you because she's got, I know she's on a European tour
Mm-hmm.
uh, with Ryan. What's Ryan's last name? Ryan Lavalette.
Mm-hmm.
He and she are both in. They should be, or will be starting a European tour soon. So I would love to get you guys connected. So back of house, when this is over, we're definitely going to chat so I can
Okay.
connect you with her. Where else would you like to tour? Because that's one of the things I wanted you to share. I mean, I know Japan and
I want
Europe.
to tour here at home. I want to go down south. I want to go to, I want to come and do the southern tour. I'd like to go to, to Louisiana, to Texas, to Mississippi, to Alabama,
Mississippi, yeah, the
South
SIP,
Carolina, and Atlanta.
yeah.
We'd like to get to all those places. Philadelphia, South Carolina, Baltimore. We'd like to
Wow.
get to where New Jersey. We'd love to go where we are. And I have more um, fans globally than I do at home. And that's
Mm,
what we're trying to change. It's very difficult as a singer, to be heard in this business as an independent artist. The smooth jazz community won't play my records. They play my
whoop.
records. They won't put me on watercolors and places like that because I'm a singer.
That I
And
was gonna say, yeah, that's probably why because you sing. But there are
right,
singers, Mesa, Will Downing.
yes.
They are Grammy nominated, but nonetheless, it's a vocal
Well,
um type
I
of.
I take great I great Will is one of my biggest supporters. He has been since day one. The first album I released, the first single, Soul Tracks, voted my album. The first album we did as one of the top of the country at the time. We were nominated for People's Choice Album of the Year in 2013, and Will Downing was one of the first major artists to say I love his music. And so he's been a consistent supporter over the years and always been very encouraging. We've never had a chance to meet. I almost met him in San Diego because he was there when I was there, and we were I was in the same park as him. But he had so many people around him, I didn't go and meet him, and he wanted to meet me that day.
Sure.
But, we're talking about a man with a 40-year career and
Right.
just an
Right.
amazing artist. He's legendary and as well as Mesa. Mesa has done the work.
Legendary. Yeah. Yeah.
And they have these great names. I'm just a guy named Joe Levy.
But that will all change. And that leads me to the next question, which you've kind of elaborated on just a little bit, but the challenges in the industry. If there was something in the industry that you could change, what would that be?
The gatekeepers, the owners of these
Wow.
platforms. It never changes. We don't own anything.
Mm-hmm.
We don't own anything. We rent and lease from the gatekeepers, and that is why we're all. You might have heard Angie just passed away, but you might have heard her talk about her financial situation.
Yeah.
The same with Michael, the same with Prince,
Yep.
the same with Jimi Hendrix, the same with George Clinton. These are megastars who have contributed massively to the music of diaspora, but they don't own. And when they did own their own stuff, they miraculously come up dead. So that's the thing about this industry is it's a life or death situation if you know what you're doing. And there have only been a few of us that understood that assignment. James Brown understood he had to do the show in the business. He understood the assignment. Same with Ray Charles, same with Stevie Wonder. These are artists that perform what they want to, but most of the others, even Michael, on that last tour, they had him over the barrel. He was worth a lot of money, but he owed, a substantial amount of money to these gatekeepers. And rather than allow him to do that tour to pay them back, they killed him and took his cat. That's the game. So,
Wow.
he owed about 250 million, and his tour sold out 50 days. He would have probably made close to over $1 billion in his tour, and they didn't let him do one date. He was dead before he hit the stage. And so then, his whole estate, is all of his music and all of his catalog falls into the hands of the gatekeepers once again, and his family gets a sizable
Legend.
estate, but it's a smidgen of what he was worth. He was worth
Right.
billions,
Yeah.
and that kind of money is worth doing stuff with, and that's what they did to him.
Sure. Sure.
Same with Prince.
Yeah, I was going to say there are others,
Hmm.
definitely Prince, namely.
Hmm.
But Prince was very strategic. When he started coming out and sort of refusing to walk the line, if you will, of the game, and then changed his name to the symbol, everybody thought he was crazy. But at the end, or along the journey towards the end, I think he was so celebrated, and I loved that about Prince. I think he was a trailblazer
He
and
was.
began to change the trajectory. There's still a lot of chiseling we've got to do. I think if more artists would speak up, some are afraid because they don't want to lose, um, you know, certain parts of, you know, their, what would you call it, tenure
Yeah.
or there's so much that you can lose. You can get blackballed and blacklisted, and I totally get that because for some, I've heard one here, like if you couldn't sing, if you couldn't play, what would you be doing? Some said, I wouldn't live. And
Well,
so if some people have that mentality, just think about it. If you're blackballed or blacklisted,
mm,
mm, we don't know what would happen. If that person might become suicidal
mm.
or what have you. It's serious business. This is no
Serious
longer
business.
it's no longer just Joe getting in the studio and making music. It's like strategies and
Yes,
plans, and the whole journey is a strategy now.
it is. But these are the cards that we're dealt.
Yes.
Um, I put my faith in the Almighty. God is my shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. So I've never wanted. I have a
Absolutely.
clear. I have a very clear view of what is ahead and what has been behind.
Hmm.
I don't begrudge people for the things that they've done or the things that they do. I just
Hmm.
try to be aware of what's happening in my own life, and I will not be silent or silenced. Um, a lot of artists will not speak their minds because they're afraid of offending fans. I'm not. Um, no one pays the bills here but me. And if you don't like what I say or how I feel about life, things that I want to say, and you don't want to come to my shows, that's fine with me. But I don't shy away from the responsibility that I have having a platform like this. I love my people. I love all people, but especially my own community. And
Yeah.
it's sad to see the condition of our community because we
Hmm.
don't have. And if you dangle the carrot, people will dance for it. And that's how they treat us in our community. And we think because people have, diamonds and gold and a few dollars that, oh, they're really doing it. No, that's not wealth. Wealth is when the wealthy people, you would never know it. I happened to meet Bill Gates before he became the multi-billionaire that he was. I met him in Seattle years ago. He was very wealthy then, and he was wearing a cardigan sweater and a $250 watch and loafers, and that impressed me because he could drive anything he wants, but he was driving the Prius, and we're talking about a man that's worth billions of dollars. We're the ones that, because we don't have, take pride in big this and all this, and it's just stuff. The
It
real wealth
is.
is when your children's children never have to worry about it, and then they pass it on and build.
Generate.
Right, that's the
Hmm.
real wealth. And we're so into things because we come from nothing. So you know wealthy people don't wear diamond chokers. Wealthy people don't drive 25, 30 Bentleys. They can, but they don't,
Right.
because it's just stuff. You can only
Yeah.
drive one car. You can only live in one
Right.
house.
Right.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Warren Buffett lives in the same house, the same three-bedroom, two-bath Rambler he bought 35 years ago. He's been living there, him and his wife raised a whole family, and that's where he lives. And it's just an
Wow.
old house that he bought. Of course, he could live in, a 50-room mansion, but you can only sleep in one bed. And I've always been cognizant of that. I just wish we as a people understood the assignment a little bit better.
Yeah.
We could rebuild a nation here for ourselves that could flourish because we have that kind of money now. We're a $2 trillion community.
Right.
Two
Right. I
trillion.
agree. It's a, it is sad when you can see the potential in the community that we're talking about, but the ability to release that and make an impact is a whole other conversation,
Yes.
right? And I've had tons and tons of conversation about it, but um, I want though to bring us back to Joe Levy though.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to know about now. I'm starting to see you collaborate. You're collaborating more and more,
Yes.
and I'm seeing more artists start to collaborate, and they're jumping on the bandwagon because I think being a maverick in this industry, you're subject to fall off of a ledge very quickly.
Hmm.
But when you start to partner with other people, there's something about having others in your circle who are like-minded. Don't you
Right.
think that that's a
It's a very, collaborating is a very powerful thing
yes,
because now you share audiences and you build the tent.
yes,
And if you understand the assignment, Cab Calloway was great about that. I don't know, many people might not remember Cab Calloway, but Cab Calloway, when he went on tour, he brought everybody
he did. Yeah,
because he had to shine.
yeah,
And so if you were out there, he brought everybody, the Mills brothers, Sammy Davis, if you could do it, he gave you a platform to do it because it was that kind of
Hmm.
family. And that's what we have to
Right.
do. We have to build our own community. And it's not about exploiting each other. And a lot of times we get into that, build a family and exploit it. That's narrow minded.
Right.
Um, there's a big we are the predominant people in this industry. We always have been. Every
Yeah.
genre comes from us, from rock and roll to
True.
country and western,
Gospel, country,
gospel,
yes,
R&B.
blues.
Every
Yeah.
single
Genre. Hmm.
genre stems from the black experience.
Yeah.
So when you recognize your superpower, you don't have to be Superman. You can be Clark Kent. And
Yeah.
that's what we have
True.
to take on more of a persona. We need to take on more of a Clark Kent persona. Um,
Right.
what I don't like about where we are in music is what the music is doing, what the messaging is, especially to our women.
Mm.
Without our women, our community is done. Without strong women, and this is why there's all this hubbub now, because black women run the world. The y'all are the most educated. You have the most PhDs. You have the most master's degrees. So and you're seeing what that has resulted in. Look at the condition of our current politics. This is all about y'all. And they're doing everything they can do to
Wow.
convince people that look like me, the men, that you don't respect us and that we don't respect you. And that's false. I love black women. I love strong. I was raised by black women. My mother was the most amazing teacher ever. So I have a song on my record called Too Much Love.
Too much love.
Too Much
Wow.
Love is about us loving one another because they always say black men and black women don't get along.
That's
And,
not true.
and they
That's
call black women, y'all are strong black women. No, we're built a certain way. Y'all have always been strong. You had to be.
had to be.
And
Yeah.
we need our men to step up and be strong as well because we have to.
That's
I
true.
was I was fortunate. My father was a great example, and I learned many things from him. Many things that I would do and many things that I won't, because he was a selfless person. He was a
Wow.
person that you could emulate. He used to tell us, anything you see me doing, you're free to do, and he
Mm.
meant that. And he
Wow.
lived a life that we could emulate. And so that's what my music is about. It's about inspiring us to love each other. Man, we don't want to talk bad and call our women bees and hoes and all that. We want to tell
Wow.
them how much they mean to us and how much we love them and how much they change our lives. And that's what I do in my music. Because without a woman, man, I'm flat. I'm flat right now. I'm single as a mingle. And man,
Look,
it's painful.
flatline.
Yeah, I'm flatlining because I wasn't made to be by myself. I was made to have
None
a
of
queen to worship. You know,
some choose. Some people choose to be alone, and I guess that's okay because that's their choice. But I, like you, as Luther said, I'm not meant to be alone. That is just
that's right.
not that's just not a part of my makeup.
Ooh, man, come on.
But
When I come down the stairs, oh,
I
peace be
want to
that.
I want to take the last break. Wait, let me take the last break. And then when I come back, I definitely want to talk about the collaboration with you and Jeanette Harris.
Mm,
Uh, Find a way to love. I love, love, love that track as well. But there's a small compilation that I put together, and hopefully it won't get censored like everything else has been. But hang out with me for a minute, Joe. We'll be right back with you.
yes, ma'am.
All right. And you guys hang out with me. Don't go too far. We've got one more break. Then we've got more of Joe Leavy and his music on Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide.
Four-time Grammy-nominated Boney James is coming to Jackson, Mississippi. The Sip. Boney James has been featured with iconic artists such as Kenny Lattimore, October London, Layla Hathaway, and more. Now, Boney is headlining Friday, March 14th at the Jackson Convention Center with special guest Billboard charting artist flautist Reagan Whiteside. Doors open at 7 p.m. Showtime is 8 p.m. Visit www.jevents.com.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. It has been very interesting, I should say. So, from beginning to end, we've got a mighty man. Joe Leavy is here tonight. Great music, great conversation. Find a way to love. What inspired that track?
Knowing I was in trouble in my marriage. I could feel it in my bones. I could feel it. Something was changing,
Mm,
and that's what that song is about. The
wow.
words are, "You're not talking. You won't say what's on your mind. If I press you, say everything is fine, but I got a feeling way down deep inside that I'm losing you." Right.
Ooh,
So
that,
that's what the
that's
song came from.
deep. Joe,
You know.
listen, you're so what makes you so transparent in your lyrics?
Uh, Following the greatest songwriters that ever lived, Stevie Wonder was transparent.
Yes, indeed.
Curtis Mayfield was transparent. You know,
Mm,
Stevie was probably the most transparent artist. Though. You know, Prince was transparent. I mean, um, Marvin Gaye
go
was
ahead.
transparent, very transparent.
I know.
Um,
Very
when he released, the "I Want You" record, Motown was scared of it because he was so transparent. They were like, man, he was being political and all these kind of things, and talking about he's not been able to pay his taxes, and
true.
sexual healing and all that stuff, and you sanctified lady. He was always transparent, and
Yeah.
the fans loved it. That's what music should do.
Is there
It
ever something that you create? I'm sorry. Is there ever anything that you create that kind of scares you when you read it, and you think, they may not be ready for this, but then you go ahead and release it anyway?
Yep. um, I've got stuff that isn't on the album. Songs like "Arms Around the World."
Yeah.
Um, you can find that music and video on YouTube. There's also we did a song called "Standing in the Shadows"
Yeah.
that we didn't put in the album. Beautiful ballad.
Hmm.
Um, and then "Arms Around the World" is a reggae song, and it was about all the violence and the police brutality and the hate that goes on, and we did it in a reggae style record, and it's one of my favorite records, but we didn't put that on the album. Um, I wrote
Really.
a beautiful Christmas piece to a year before Christmas before last, called "One More Day," and
Mm.
it's a beautiful, beautiful song. And I was losing my friends in
Oh no, we have lost Joe Levy for a moment, and I'm going to give him an opportunity to come back. But while he is getting himself together, I think this is a great time for us to at least check out the music compilation. Again, I didn't do a full blown premiere. There's been so much censorship, not only with my show, but I think even with Sapphire Jazz, she's had some issues with just promoting you guys' music. And, as someone who's a lover of the indie genre, specifically smooth jazz, I think that there's got to be something changed. Definitely gotta have something changed so that the labels um, don't just censor us and shut our videos down for helping to promote you. Because again, if you don't sell, if your music doesn't sell, people don't hear you, mm, then what, right? So let's take a look at the music compilation. We'll be back. The wonderful Joe Levy wanted you guys to hear some of the music, and some of the videos are just top notch, very grown folk oriented. Wouldn't you agree? I do. We're still trying to get Joe Levy to get back into our broadcast. He's having some technical difficulties. Tonight has just been a technical difficulty night. Just not sure why, but definitely going to take the last break of the night. May have to call it a night since we've already premiered the smidgen of the video that I have composed for you guys. But don't go away. We'll be right back with more of Indie Artists Reveal Worldwide.
Jackson, Mississippi, this is Boney James. I am so excited to be coming to the Jackson Convention Complex on March 14th. It's our first time playing there. You guys need to come out and check it out. Slow Burn Tour. Tickets are on sale now. See you there.
Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. The expansion continues. You can locate us on 10 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. I think we were able to get Joe Levy back. And so happy. One good thing about all of this is that I'm always able to edit anything that I grab from YouTube and Facebook and make it work for the radio stations that rebroadcast our show every week. And I just want, since I'm bringing them up, I want to thank STL Smooth Jazz. I don't know if Michelle is still here. Dial Soul Radio, The Loft in New York. Um, I know I'm forgetting. The Urban Influencer. There are tons. There's about 10 radio stations that's rebroadcasting all of what I do every week. I after I'm done here, I pull it down, edited it, and send it out via MP3. And Joe, you guys get an instant replay from LA to New York to Virginia to St. Louis, all around the world. This interview and your music is being heard,
Thank you,
and
Sabrina.
it doesn't cost a penny for you guys.
I love this network. Thank you, Sabrina. You're amazing.
And maybe that's why I'm having so many challenges. Somebody must want me to quit, but I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be right here. I
Thank you for
am.
that.
I am going to be right here. I want, and you're so welcome, Joe. Um, when you are, which I didn't really touch on, I did though play the compilation, so you'll have to go back and take a look at it. I took snippets of about three videos, which um, I love. Those are the three songs that I love the most out of you, and presented them to Facebook. But I want you to share with me how it is you choose the music that you're going to put out. What does that look like?
Well, for me, I write songs for the album.
Mm,
Every song that I wrote went on this album, and because they were inspired by real things, and they were inspired by my life story. So, which is
yeah,
why it took so long to get the album together.
yeah,
But every song that we wrote, we didn't throw away anything. It went on this record, and we've got 11 amazing songs. We've had 7 single releases off this 11 song album, and we've got 3 more to go. So it's an amazing album. All the songs work. There aren't very many records today that have more than 1 or 2 hit records on them.
sure,
This album has 11, and we're really proud of that because every single song we released have done really well in the markets that we released them to. which is why I'm headed over to England and other parts of the world because
Ooh.
people really love the record. I'm sending records. We didn't sell it online. The album is only available at my website, joeleavy.com. And
Ah,
so we have never commercially released this record because I don't want to put it on streaming as an album. The singles you can stream, but the album you need to purchase
sure.
from me. And
Right.
so and that helps me as an artist. It helps me, recover,
Some of the costs.
yeah,
Mm.
because I didn't spare any horses with this record. If you listen to the music, these are real musicians playing real instruments in a studio, and it's not done inside the box. It's done with
And
real life.
not just Joe, the musicians, but when I look at your video, um, especially inside you, um, there was one I can't even remember the name of it now, but a lot of your videos are so super high quality.
Mm.
Now, and I know that that ain't free, as they say.
Well,
You know,
shout out to Jay Synth. Jay Synth is my video. Gina Sedman did a lot of work with me early on.
yes, I know
Uh,
Gina.
Gina's done
Yeah.
some work with me. She's a brilliant video specialist and
Hmm.
videographer and filmmaker.
Hmm.
Jay Synth does the bulk of my videos. I work with a couple of different people. Zebulon Griffin did Find a Way to Love, and another brother of mine in Japan did Let It Go. So we've had some very interesting and talented people work with us on these videos, and it's important to tell these stories through the visual aspect.
Yes.
Um, I want to have Althea Renee out here soon, and we're gonna get together and do a video for our song, which is called "Do It Again,"
Mhm.
which is a great song. Althea is an amazing flautist, and
She
she
is.
is killing that record. And again, that's about experience. I was dating a woman who was just an outgoing person, and she saw me kind of down and depressed, and said, "Hey, let's go on vacation." Took me to Hawaii, took me to Costa Rica, and
Joe,
we had a
are
blast.
these all true for real? Just
Yeah,
took you on vacation, took
it
you
was
on a
like,
getaway.
I know
Just
what you need. Let's go. And
wow,
man, off to Hawaii we went, and I wrote a song about it called
that's
"Do It
amazing.
Again." And the
Yeah,
song, the lyrics are, "Whatever you do to me, whatever you did to me, do it again."
love it. Oh my gosh.
because because it was beautiful, and we had a great time, and we're very close friends, and that's the kind of thing that God did for me.
Yeah,
Everything I needed, He provided for me. Every every
right.
step I needed to take was there to make sure that there was a step there for me to take, and that's
And
why
it seems
the
like
title. Go
no,
ahead.
I'm so sorry. Finish your sentence. The title.
Well, the title track of this record is "Soul on Fire,"
Right.
and the title track is a gospel record. "Soul on Fire" is a gospel record, and it's got a go-go groove to it. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're going to release that record as well. I'm hoping it'll do something along the lines of Stomp. We're hoping to get that kind of reaction from it.
Got it.
But that is the culmination of this whole album is the Soul on Fire record, which is what the name of the project was, Soul on Fire. So we've got all these beautifully crafted soul records, and then we give honor to the Most High in the title track of the record, Soul on Fire. And boy, when we
Oh
perform that song, it's church. It's church in the club, it's church in the park, it's church at the festival. Whenever we do that record, we close with it. And man,
man.
it's required. You got to give up and give God praise, whether you
All the
know Him or not. And that's
all
how
the
we do
time.
it. That's how we do it.
And it seems like, from what I've learned of you and your music, is most, if not all, of your music is based on experiences of love
Absolutely.
within your life. Do you think
Absolutely.
you'll ever write on the opinion of what you see in other people's lives beyond love? Or is this, if it's not broke, you won't fix it type thing?
For me, um,
Yeah,
I try to stay with what matters to me.
got it.
That's what's honest. It's hard to see someone else's experience right outside of where I see our current culture going. I
Hmm.
would love to speak to that, but
Yeah.
as an elder in this business, as an elder, I don't want to appear to be, spanking people and putting them down. But I do not like the current direction, the trajectory that music is going, especially from our community. No other community has the types of negative messaging. They don't let that stuff go into any other community but ours. And it's all about taking the best and turning them into the worst.
And that's we I was in a FedEx print shop today. And me and a one of the workers, she and I were discussing the music
Mm,
of the 70s, 80s. And that's the music that I really, really love from the
mm,
70s and 80s. And so, we were just talking about how some of the music, and not all of it, but being able to appreciate real R&B music, that
mm,
seems to be an issue today. Of course,
mm.
a creative can create what they deem they feel, they see, they experience, and that's the freedom of speech in America.
Yeah.
Yes. But when it comes to soul music, R&B music, though, I love the thoughts from After Seven when I had Kavan and the team on back in
Yes.
22 on the legendary
And
platform, and he said we would
the
always sing about love. It would always be R&B. It would always
hmm
be positive music.
That's right.
And I would love to see us get back to the soul of us, the soul of music. What started then should be an era. Like, okay, in this
Mm,
era we had this kind of music, in that era we had that, and now we have music we can't even. What's the interpretation? You got to have people decipher certain music these days.
right.
It's like, what did he
And it's
mean when he
only
said this?
it's only our community. And Kanye spoke to that. He spoke to that. He
Oh,
said,
hmm,
"You only, you pay for this and you promote this music in our communities, but you don't promote it in your own."
yeah,
And we are different people because you
yeah,
are what you eat.
yeah, yeah.
And
Well,
the
I
biggest
refuse to eat it.
these are the biggest eaters that we have is our ears and our eyes.
These are
So
gates. Yes,
we went from a different world where we had a community that wanted to go to college and be Delisa and Wayne Wayne, and there was
correct.
college
Hmm.
enrollment at the highest levels ever. College
Yep,
enrollment was at the highest point ever when we had different world. Now we got
correct.
BMF.
Yeah,
Now we got BMF and power, and we have the highest death rate in the community.
right,
Kids,
right,
kids all want to be gangsters and kill, and women want to see themselves as bad B's and the H's and fighting and act and mentally disproportionate people to look at and be and emulate.
right.
They only do that in our community,
Yeah,
and it's because of who we are. And they're trying to help us help ourselves to the end of us. And unless we turn this around, unless we understand the assignment, I fear for
correct.
where we're going in 15 or 20 years.
And that's what I was going to say. That may be what we're facing, but you and those who are like-minded like yourself, because you've seen it and because you've witnessed it, you're responsible now to change it. You can't look at something and say,
Right.
oh, that's bad. And I'm not blaming you, I'm making a
Mm.
statement. Oh, how poor is this and how bad is that? If you've seen it and you've experienced it, it is
Yes, ma'am.
now your responsibility, yes, to make the change. Now, you can take a horse to water and can't make him drink it,
Yes, ma'am.
but you can put out there something different. And now, if what we're getting is all we have, then there's nothing else to choose from. But if we know that we have the power to make options, now we can choose. And
Yes, ma'am.
hopefully people will choose the better of whatever is out there. And my sis from Kat Carter, she's saying it's real talk. It is real talk because when we speak words, whether we're speaking them or singing them, words carry life. They carry weight.
Yes. They also
So
carry death.
and whatever it is, good or bad, you're right.
Yes,
Life
ma'am.
and death is in the power of the tongue, and those
Yes,
who
ma'am.
love it will eat its fruit. You
Yes, ma'am.
know, so we've got to change the trajectory of what we're hearing, what we're seeing. Again, if we just keep saying, "Oh, that's bad, that's bad, that's not good," okay, we've identified it. Now, there should be a solution.
Mm.
What are we going to do about it? So we as creatives, we've got to make the change.
I'm giving props to Snoop right now because he took Death Row
Hmm.
and changed the whole trajectory of that record label.
Wow.
He brought out October London and
Yes.
is reminding these youngsters how good love is.
Yes.
And I love
Absolutely.
Snoop for that. That's why I love Calvin Broadus. I respect him highly. He's always been an ambassador for peace. Even when he was in the height of his gang activity, he was a peaceful gangster that tried to bring
Yeah.
peace, and he survived all of that death and destruction of the 80s and the 90s. And he's living to
Sure.
tell a story and bringing love to the community. And I respect him for that. And that was influence to me as an artist to do what I do. And he's an old school guy, and
Yeah.
he understands the assignment, and that gives me hope and it gives me pleasure. And there are
Yeah.
quite a few of us still here that are doing great. Raphael Sadiq is going to be releasing some music.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He's doing some great things. Of course, Pharrell is one of my favorite artists. Uncle Charlie's still doing his thing. There's
Mm-hmm.
still a lot of really, really great music out here. And
Yes.
not that what the kids aren't doing there's some really great artists there too. But I'm just hoping that the lights will come on and they realize that they have a responsibility.
That's right.
And
That's
it's not
true.
all about the bag, it's about the legacy that you leave.
Right.
And that's what I try to keep in contact. I'm an older guy, so I want my kids to be able to say, "Well, my dad was, he did this, he did that," and they can go
Exactly.
behind and say, "Man, he actually did some good things. This is what my dad did," and be
Right.
proud of him. And
Exactly.
that's what
Exactly.
gives me also drives me is my children, my grandson. He loves to come to the shows. He loves to come to church with me. And he's 15. He's 14 years old, getting ready to turn 15, and Papa, we going to church Sunday. That's just so beautiful. It just does my heart good to look next to me in the church and my grandson sitting there because he wants to be.
Eh,
So,
no one made him snatch him and said you're going to
nope,
go.
nope,
But
no
I
one
love,
made him.
but I love the generation that did that because I came from that generation and had we not had the strong mothers and grandmothers to do that, well,
Yes, ma'am.
who knows where we would
Mhm.
have been. But that is why I love your music so because you are so grounded in what you believe in, Joe. Um, the soul of R&B. You're passionate about love, and having people understand whether you've lost it or you've gained it. You're singing about it, and it's so real we can feel it. You know,
Thank you. Thank you,
so
sir.
I
Means a lot.
appreciate you so much, so
And I
much.
appreciate you. You interview so many great artists, independent and sponsored. You're such an elegant sister, and you really do this well. And I'm so proud to be here with you for the second time. I hope it's not our last time together.
It won't
And
be.
I'm looking forward to coming south and meeting you in person, and hopefully bringing the Soul on Fire tour to a city near you.
Ah, that would be so wonderful. Everybody, we want you to connect with Joe. JoeLevy.com. That's where you can find him. That's his hub, and learn everything that he's doing, every place that he's going to be. If you need to connect with him on Facebook, we are running the ticker below the hub, and you can connect with him. What do you want people to walk away with after they hear your music?
Feeling good, feeling like, man, what a great reminder on how wonderful it is to be loved. Or if you understand what it is to be hurt and then be loved again. Um, just because somebody hurt you don't mean that you can't do it again. I was married a long time. My divorce was crazy, crazy painful. But man, I'm so excited about what the future holds because I know I'm going to meet a beautiful, amazingly intelligent, kind, sweet,
Oh my
loving
goodness.
individual to spend the rest of my days.
Well, I'm sure that whoever that person is going to enjoy you and adore you. I love love. I mean that's me. I'm crazy about love, but it has to be the right kind of love.
It's got to be
Um,
real.
and guys, I was sharing with Joe back of house. I said, the one gift that I will give my husband, the last man that I call husband, I can't give him to that I've never had sex before. But it's been since 2018. Now we're going to be really real, okay? So I'm going to give him a renewal of sorts, and it will be very, very special. And my heart is that as women, we value ourselves enough to say, I'm just not going to lie in bed with anybody who looks sounds good, can tell me any old thing. But you know that you're connected spiritually,
Yes.
physically, because physical makes sense. It
Hmm.
makes a difference.
It does.
But
It's a
but
connection there.
but there has to be a connection. But you're giving more than just that. The totality of you. You're interconnected. You're walking together because life is good when there are two of you together. You know,
Man,
what does the word say? It's
thus
not
it
good.
is.
It's not good that man should
Not
be
good for
alone.
man to be alone. Yeah.
You
You
know.
know, I wrote a song about that. It's called Love Me to My Soul. And it's about that very, very thing.
Oh, wow.
It's about and that's what we're talking about. I want somebody to
Right.
love me to my soul. And man, I get it. I understand that assignment.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that's what that particular song was about. And between you and me, that's the most popular song on this album is Love Me to My Soul.
What? Wow.
The number
Wow.
one record that you had the picture of with the gold and all that, that's Love Me to My Soul. That's the
Wow.
most popular record on this to date. The most popular record that we had on this record. It's played here in America. It was number one on the IBA, the Independent Broadcasting
Sure.
Association.
Sure.
So that message is strong, and that's about the very thing you just mentioned. It's about loving a woman from the inside out.
Wow. That's what good music is all about. And
Hmm.
sharing that and encouraging us that as women, we are more than just the physical.
That's
That we mean something to our partners and vice versa. You know, I think it's time for us as women to affirm, if you
mm,
will, the men that are in our lives. Because there's nothing like having your own heaven on earth, if you will, right?
that's right.
At the end of the day, when everybody else has done and said what they feel, I'm just telling my truth, whatever that may be, and that truth could have broken somebody to their soul, and
Yes,
then that person comes home, but then there's a partner, a life partner there, and they are affirming you of your worth, regardless of what someone has said prior about you. Do you know what I mean? That to me,
I do know what you mean.
that's special. That's
It certainly
special.
is. It
Yeah.
certainly is. We are like-minded.
Uh oh. You guys heard him. We are like minded. So I love that. And Joe, I so appreciate you coming back and sitting down and being so transparent and sharing with us the new music and the new endeavors. You're going back to Japan, you're going to Europe. Oh, to get you connected with Selena Albright. She's already in the UK.
Mhm.
So just so happy for you and glad that things are going well.
Well, I want to thank you for inviting me. It's been a pleasure being in your presence. Yeah. You, yeah.
As always, it is my pleasure to bring on some amazing creatives who can touch the world with your music. And listen, everybody, I want to thank you. We had some beginning, and it was delayed, and even in the middle, there were some tech issues. I think I completely froze, but you hung around. We're going to do edits all next week, not this week, but all next week. You will see this or hear this with the stations that will rebroadcast this show. And I am so proud to be a syndicated radio show worldwide, you know? And so, but it could only be because of you and people like Joe Levy, all the artists who were here. Um, Spraggins was here not so long ago. I've had David P. Stevens on here. He's got amazing music that's out. Go out and buy
Yes.
it. Go out and support the indie genre, specifically the smooth jazz, because that's what I support the most, and R&B as well. Well, listen, everybody, remember what you make happen for others, God will definitely make it happen for you. I want you to make it a point this week to do something outside of yourself, something that makes you feel uncomfortable, but it helps somebody else. Would
Mhm.
you do that for me and come back next week in the chat and you tell me what that thing was? And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to do, have you do something, but out of your comfort zone, do something special for somebody else and come back and share with us how that impacted you. We've got to change the world. And the only way we can do that is one person at a time, right? Right, right. All right, everybody. Listen, you have a great week, and we'll see you on next week. You take care.